One decision that I almost made that would have definitely changed the whole trajectory of where I'm at was when I was in Queens after I had graduated and it was getting really hard to pay that rent, especially because my roommates moved out and I went from having to pay like $400 for this room, this real tiny room, to like having to take the whole $1,700 rent on my own, you know what I mean? Because my roommates had moved out and I didn't really have nowhere else to go. So it was getting every month that $1,700 was stacking. So from $1,700 to $3,400 to whatever the math is to $5,100. Before you know it, like I'm 10,000 plus with a landlord who's like looking at me like, yo man, but he's also having faith in me. So that's when I consider like, man, maybe I just need to go home, regroup, go stay with my mom, figure this thing out. But I had a conversation with my landlord. This is Muhammad, he's famous now because I done threw him in the song. I was telling him like, yo man, I'm thinking about going home, you know, like not for good, but just to like regroup. And he was like, no, don't do it. He's like, I'm telling you, man, if you do that, because we used to have conversations like about my career, what I wanted to do, and he told me straight up, he was like, yo, do not do that. Like, if you do that, man, you're not gonna be able to come back. Like, you're not gonna be able to regroup, basically. He just was very adamant about telling me, like, whatever you do, don't leave. And that was the only, I never thought about stopping the chase, but I thought about, like, man, maybe I'm in over my head. I just need to go home and figure out something else. Like, so clearly I'm glad I didn't. I don't know what it was that made him say that. He could clearly see it. Like, he would always tell me, like, I know, man, I see it. You're gonna make it. He used to always say that. I see, man, I know, I believe you're gonna make it. In my head, I'm like, Muhammad, how you know? Like, I could just be G'ing you know what I mean? Like, you know, how do you know? But he always was adamant about, like, no, I know, man, you're a good guy. Like, I see it. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. I know. You know 50 Cent, Jay-Z, those guys? He's like, those guys started from where? He was like trying to tell me about Jay-Z and 50 Cent, like, and how they used to sell drugs, and now look at them. I'm like, yo, Muhammad, man, I know, bruh. Nah, but I just let him talk. Maybe that is what he saw in me, because and he knew it. I was from a whole different world. Like, yeah, I'm not from another country, but I might as well have been. You know what I mean? Like, I'm from a world that's so different from New York City. Like, 150,000 people. New York is 8 million. 10 high schools. 10, 11 high schools, maybe 12. New York is like, who knows? Hundreds, thousands. You know what I mean? Whatever. And in the grand scheme of things, like, I'm not supposed to be here, man. I'm from Fayetteville. Every other rapper's from New York, Atlanta, Toronto, Chicago, LA, Miami. These are cities with 1 million plus people. I didn't sell drugs, I'm not gang affiliated. I went to college. I'm not supposed to be here. So I'm gonna beat even more odds. And even if I never even get that supreme confidence, I'm gonna still kill these niggas, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna always find a way. This album freed me up and allowed me to, like, release it through writing about it. Whatever's on my mind, weighing me down. I'm not the type of person that's gonna go just talk about it to a group of friends. I'm more like an introverted person, so I write it out. I'd rather rap about it and then discuss it later if somebody asks. And I'm telling these stories. These are real stories with real layers. Like, you gotta listen, man. I'm telling you, I'm giving you my life. I'm giving you layers. Like, yo, I cried. I listened to Born Sinner. When we finished, I cried. I was so happy with the shit. With everything I was saying, with, like, the shit I was getting on my chest, and the fact that I felt like I beat the odds and, like, overcame all the mental shit I was going through. Like, yo, I fucking cried. That's how happy, happy tears. Like, thank you, God. That's how happy I was. I shouldn't even give a fuck what other people think. You know what I mean? And I'm learning that. Somebody like Jay-Z, Kanye West, like, these guys are tried and tested, proven, legendary. You can never take that from them. Never should you ever want to. You know what I mean? Nah, somebody like that. But as a fan of music, and especially as a fan of hip-hop, if you're only looking at these guys like they're the only ones capable of bringing you classic material or telling you stories that are important, that's really what it is. Like, yo, my story is just as important as Jay-Z's. I didn't sell drugs. I don't have the same story, but my story is just as important as Kanye West's, Nas's, Lil Wayne. It's just different. As long as I'm telling it in a creative way, and as long as I'm keeping things fresh, you have to allow that. You gotta allow me to be great, or try. Shit. It's like, I always bring up the basketball references, but people always talk about Michael Jordan is, and I'm from that era, and I know Michael Jordan is the greatest, for sure. But I'm not dumb enough to sit here and act like LeBron James isn't doing something that's never been done. I'm not gonna keep talking about Michael Jordan until, like he's gonna come back. If so, I'm gonna miss the experience of enjoying LeBron James for what he's bringing to the table. It's not the same as Michael Jordan, no. It's different, and that's what makes it what it is. It's still great, though. You gotta let the new niggas in, man.